Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I finally got a new laptop, man. It's not like actually a new laptop I bought. It's just a brand new laptop that basically fucking works, man. What a crazy concept, am I right? What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Lucas E. Allen Productions on YouTube and all audio platforms. The Lucas E. Allen Show. It's your podcast for September 24th, 2025. Your Wednesday of September 24th, 2025. Regarding anything, follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, Lucas E. Allen. Watch on YouTube, click the like button on today's podcast. If there's a subscribe button, you've done so already. Turn the bell for all post notifications. Obviously, subscribe. Leave a comment. Think of your Wednesday edition for September 24th to 2025. Lucas E. Allen Productions on YouTube. Watch on Spotify, any other audio platform. Especially on Spotify, leave me a comment. And also a 5-star rating, be very nice as well, to say the least. The reason I brought back Spotify and all audio platforms, to say the least, it's because I kind of miss uploading stuff on there, to say. It's reminds me a lot of old school me and No Limits of Lucas, man. So there you go. I decided to do that, to say the least. That's all. Let's go on today's podcast, man. There's going to be a lot less stuff to discuss. Not there's a lot of stuff to discuss yesterday. It's mainly wrestling reviews, man. There's a lot of reviews. I obviously want an hour plus. We're originally supposed to go an hour and 36 minutes. But I had to trim 35 minutes of it because of freaking especially for YouTube, I had to basically combine the recordings. And now I had to basically go to basically what I'm saying is I had to merge all my recordings and make it also a video to be published to YouTube. For another reason why I'm bringing back the audio, to say at least, for Spotify and where you want to get your podcasts, obviously too. So there you go for that. It's supposed to be an hour and 36, so I'm going to be an hour and 1 minute, including the two videos that are intro and outro. Which if you watch on audio platforms, you don't get that, obviously. You can watch on YouTube, though, you do get it, to say at least. As I already discussed in today's YouTube video, to say at least, you get the point. Now let's get into your introduction, shall we? There's a Pro Wrestling Illustrated Top 500 Top 10 Male Wrestlers list for 2025. Be discussing that. Very bizarre list at number 2, by the way, with Jon Moxley, spoiler alert. Be discussing that. Also, an ESPN gives WWE WrestlePalooza a big fat C of a grade. Yikes! Yikes, yikes, yikes there, WWE and ESPN. We're discussing that. Also, some positive news on Piper Niven's WWE future. I think she has a really recent neck injury, I believe it was. We're discussing that. Also, the Tiffany Stratton addresses her injury status, to say the least. We're discussing that. Also, discussing a little bit of, not going to say breaking news, but it's to say at least it's recent news today. Jazmyn Nyx is done with the WWE. We're going to be discussing that. We're also going to be discussing Tony Khan on the AEW side. Says AEW this year has put on the most quality shows ever has been in the company history. Found that to be complete fucking laughable, to say the least. We're discussing that, though. Also, speaking of AEW, AEW Dynamite, September 24, 2025 preview. And as always, you can guess it, this day in wrestling history. Discussing all in today's podcast. Glad you're joining me. As always, going to say it's your Wednesday edition of your Lucas E. Allen Productions for your Wednesday, September 24th to 2025. Let's get on today's podcast. Starting with, you guess, your Pro Wrestling 500 Top 10 Male Wrestlers list for 2025. By the way, there's 500 male wrestlers on this list. Like I said at the top of this, I'm going over 10 wrestlers, top 10 to say at least. So we'll probably hear all freaking 24 hours discussing the 500 wrestlers of 2025, obviously. Slight exaggeration, I know. But starting with number 1, you can guess it, it's Cody Rhodes, your reigning defend undisputed WWE champion. Pretty basic, you ask me, probably the most obvious pick there. Number 2, you got very kind of not a shocking pick. This is a kayfabe list, by the way. It's not the wrestlers ability-wise right now. Obviously, if you give this non-biased way, non-kayfabe, you probably put Will Ospreay number 1. That's why it's an every year thing, to say the least. Number 2, you got the former AEW World Champion, Jon fucking Moxley. Yep, I know. People might say, oh, Moxley at number 2, what the fuck are we doing here? And I understand that big time, but it's like I said, it's a kayfabe list. Obviously, Moxley's reign of terror in AEW probably helped that for his sake, honestly, for this list. But I'm not making a big of a deal at that, because it's just a kayfabe list. If it was like my own list, I'd probably even do like a basic list on a second channel, like YouTube. Like maybe I'd do a different like top 10 list. If you want to see it, leave me a comment in this podcast below, say at least on YouTube. And also, subscribe button, like I said earlier in the podcast. If you want to do that, let me know in the comments to say at least for YouTube. On Spotify, you mean let me know if I do it for YouTube, the second channel, Lucas Eon, to say at least. But Jon Moxley is number 2. I don't care for it, obviously, but it is what it is. Number 3 should be realistic, your number 2 on this list. The former WWE World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. Or like I said, should be at number 2, honestly. I'll probably put him at number 2. I wouldn't even put Cody at number 1. I wouldn't have not even done that. But I understand if kayfabe-wise to say at least. At that, I don't have no problem with that. He'll probably be in my top 3 anyways. Probably put like Ospreay, Gunther, and probably Cody Rhodes in the top 3. Spoiler alert if I do that list. The Gunther is number 3. Don't mind that ranking for me. Should be a little bit higher at number 2, but it is what it is. Number 4, you get the current AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Hangman Adam Page. Don't mind that, honestly, ranking. Don't mind that at all. Number 5 is your first non-WWE and AEW talent in New Japan Pro Wrestling, I believe. Hiroki Goto. Goto, I think is how you say his name. This is whatever. I don't care. I don't care to say the least. No, nothing against this. I never even heard of him as of today, honestly, when I saw this report. Or saw the article and I got the news piece for today. I kid you not. This is the first time I've ever heard of him. Not joking, I swear to God. So he's number 5. Number 6 is Jey Uso, another former WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I don't think he should be over Swerve Strickland on this list. Even Seth Rollins, spoiler he is, but still. Number 7, you can guess it, Swerve Strickland. Number 8 is the current WWE World Heavyweight Champion. A lot of former and current WWE World Heavyweight Champions on this list. The current one being Seth Rollins at number 8. Number 9 is Mystico from CMLL. I believe just beat MJF for CMLL Championship. One of the titles in CMLL. Number 10 is we got a fucking problem with. Will Ospreay is down at number 10. Realistically, he should be at number 5 at bare minimum. Like, what the fuck? Ospreay at number 10. That's the big issue I have with this list. I know he suffered more losses than others, but still. You cannot put... You put him at number 10? With that ability, I know it's a kayfabe list, like I said. But he should be at number 6 at bare minimum. I'll probably put him in top 5. Honestly, number 1 for mine. Mine, to say the least. But still, that is where I got a problem with. That's why I don't like kayfabe lists. That's why I barely go over this stuff like this. But that is your PWI Top 150, Top 10 male wrestlers list for 2025. Let me know in the comment section if you're just as pissed off I am. Will Ospreay being at number 10 to say at least. Let me know in the comment section below to say at least. Let's move on, though. Moving on to ESPN gives WWE WrestlePalooza the big fat C, man, of a grade. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. As you've not known and figured out by now, WWE held its first premium live event, a new era on ESPN's new direct consumer streaming service on Saturday with WrestlePalooza. Fans overall weren't exactly impressed with the show, gee, I don't say, which had an overlap of about an hour with AEW's all-out pay-per-view event. From the get-go, starting with Brock Lesnar's squash of John Cena opened the PLE. When ESPN graded the show, the outlet gave WrestlePalooza a passing grade of a C. I don't know how that's a passing grade at all. I don't know how it's a passing grade. That's just like barely average if you ask me for a grade. Whatever. But said only one match on the card saved the show from being told truly average. ESPN named the match for the vacated Women's World Championship as the best of the night, with Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky put in the work to entertain the crowd in Indianapolis, Indiana, which I do agree with that to say at least. It's probably the best match of the night. Vaquer and Sky fought to a 20-minute battle and an end. Vaquer hit a corkscrew moonsault for the victory, picking up her first championship on the WWE main roster with her father at ringside. The outlet graded the match a B+, and wrote that WWE fans should go out of their way to see it, which I do agree with that also. They graded the Division's victory over the Usos and CM Punk and AJ Lee's victory over Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Both with both C's, to say the least. I don't know about that. I absolutely hate that great with that. To me, it's not better than Stephanie and Io, but it's definitely number 2 on this whole fucking card. And probably the best story going into this fucking event. Like, I don't get what ESPN's launch giving it a bit of C. I don't get that at all. I did hear this, the person that published the story out of ESPN WrestlePalooza is a big avid AEW fan, so you can keep an eye out for that. But honestly, I don't think that's a big of a deal, though, honestly. Because Bleacher Report does the same thing. They stream AEW for all the time at the pay-per-views. And they were still covering WWE television and still getting probably better grades now than they ever did AEW. I don't know what that means to tell you about them or whatever, man. In their story, ESPN said that every other match was underwhelming, citing how short the undisputed WWE Championship match was between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, obviously, or just a set for a future match like Lesnar destroying Cena in the opener. I do agree with that. The first and the beginning and end sucked for WrestlePalooza. And obviously the second match was very underwhelming, the Usos and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And what was the fourth match? What was the other match? It was Lesnar and Cena, Usos against Breaker and the Bronsons, Vaquera and Io. Okay, maybe I'm not missing much. Maybe I'm not missing one at all. There's only a 5-match card. But still, man, this event obviously fell flat on its face. It really did. For ESPN's debut for the premium live events for WWE main roster, this fell flat on its face. So much so, All Out barely, honestly. Outdueled WrestlePalooza just barely, though. Barely. Both shows were very underwhelming. I gave WrestlePalooza a generous B- overall grade. Probably because I only combined all the matches into one. Then we should just go grade out the system to say at least with that to say at least. I gave that a B-. Doesn't mean it's not a great grade though for that standard. This type of event for this big time hype around should at minimum be a B. That got below a B to a B-, obviously. Now, man, I might be being generous with a B- overall show grade for WrestlePalooza. But still, man, this is just whatever. I understand I get where fans coming from of being pissed. Like, maybe it's a big alarm to WWE. I understand it's a big alarm to WWE doing like stuff like this. Where your own fucking promotion, your own company that's hosting your PLEs gives you an overall show grade of a fucking C. Yeah, that's a yikes for them sake. But for me, in general, as an avid wrestling fan, I don't give a shit, honestly. I felt like the way I felt my own way about the ESPN WrestlePalooza, but still. Obviously, it wasn't a great show at all, any way you look at it, to say at least. Those are my thoughts on that, to say at least, as well. Moving on to positive news on Piper Niven's WWE future after obviously an injury scare. You don't know about that in reports. New optimistic updates emerged regarding the status of injured WWE superstar Piper Niven. A recent report from Fightful Select has revealed that Niven is dealing with a serious neck injury, but despite initial fears that it could be career-ending, the belief within WWE is that she will return. Thank God, it's great to hear that. The Fightful Select reports say that we've got a bit of an update on Piper Niven's injury. We're told that while the injury is very serious, those we spoke to believe that she will return. It's a neck injury and she's still awaiting an official diagnosis. We will respect the privacy of the performer beyond that. This update is encouraging about the report from Brian Alvarez of Go Figure of Wrestling Observer Live, where he had stated there's concern that could be career ending. So whatever it is, it's serious. Hopefully she can come back, but she is out due to injury, end quote. Good to hear that Piper Niven's all great and everything. That sucks. Having a neck injury. Last night, Kevin Owens has that big time neck injury. Been creeping out for almost 2 years at tops, or bare minimum. It feels like he's gonna miss WrestleMania 42, and that's fucking almost 6 months from now. I believe it's 6 months from now, but still, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 8 months, whatever. 6 to 8 months, right in the corner. But still, man. Good to hear Piper Niven is at least semi-good, to say at least. Hope she's okay. We see her back in the WWE Friday Night SmackDown division, to say at least, or women's division, to say at least. So keep updating her going for it. I'm a big fan of Piper. Wish she'll be back very soon, to say at least. Moving on to Tiffany Stratton, the reigning defending WWE Women's Champion. addresses her injury status. A lot of women's injury heavy in the WWE main roster, to say the least. WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton has provided an update on her physical condition, saying that she is okay following a rough land on a moonsault during her recent title defense against Jade Cargill on Friday Night SmackDown. In an interview with Going Ringside, Stratton addressed the speculation about her health that arose after she was pulled from a scheduled appearance at the NXT Homecoming Special, and obviously her and Stephanie Vaquer, and also taking on the Fatal Influence members of JC Jane, Jazmyn Nyx. We have news on this podcast, by the way, and also Fallon Henley. In her interview, Stratton put the injury rumors to rest physically, and I quote, "I'm okay. Obviously, on that moonsault, it was a little bit rough on the landing. Obviously, that looked freaking rough for her, man. I know it's talking on the outside of the ring. It looked ugly, to say the least. However, I was fine. I think it was just more precautionary and kind of that monitoring and seeing if anything was bad about the fall," she explained, "but for the most part, I'm doing good. I'm great," end quote. Great to hear that, in all honesty. Now, you have no excuses, Triple H, of giving us the match you want to see for Crown Jewel, for the WWE Crown Jewel Women's Championship. So obviously, Stephanie Vaquer, the reigning defending Women's World Champion for WWE, and the reigning defending WWE Women's Champion right now is discussing now Tiffany Stratton. Stephanie and Tiffany is your match. Kind of rhymes. Stephanie and Tiffany. Kind of rhymes almost. Slight exaggeration, obviously. But in all seriousness, that's your match. You have no excuses not producing a match like that now, Triple H. See if we can get Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton for the Crown Jewel Women's Championship and Crown Jewel to say the least this year for 2025. Keep up there if that's the case going forward, to say the least. Moving on. Jazmyn Nyx is done with the WWE. The NXT faction Fatal Influence has imploded on NXT this week, and in the fallout, it was confirmed that the group member Jazmyn Nyx is done with the WWE. The star was written off of the storylines on the most recent episode of NXT, in an angle that saw her former partners officially sever ties with her, to say the least. A report from PWInsiderElite.com has confirmed that her on-screen exit coincides with a real-life departure from the company as her current contract is expiring. The report clarifies that Nyx is not injured, is not being called up to the main roster, but is instead exiting from the company. In a video posted to her TikTok account, the former NXT superstar addressed the speculation surrounding her status after she was written off of television in this week's episode of NXT. She does not quote, "As you know, there have been things circulating that end. I want to just set the record straight. I'm not re-signing with the WWE. This was a personal decision I had to make for myself and my future," Nyx said. "Personally, the contract that they offered me for the next 3 years wasn't going to cut it for me financially, and that's okay," end quote. Nyx also opened up about her journey with the WWE, which began after a professional soccer career in Iceland. She revealed that the 4 knee surgeries hampered her early progress in the WWE developmental system. She also mentioned that she was off television for a brief period of concussion, though she did not specify when that occurred. Nyx also noted that she had to turn down other opportunities during her time with the WWE and is now able to focus on those ventures. She ended by thanking her fans for their support. To say the least, I wish Jazmyn Nyx all the best in her future endeavors. I'm not big on her at all, to say the least. Even in Fatal Influence, I like most of the members. I like Fallon Henley quite big. I mean, a little bit high on JC Jane, too, the reigning defending NXT Women's Champion. Might be a hot take to some people. I love JC. I think she's freaking great. Very underrated, if you ask me. Is she at the best NXT Women's Champion? She claims she is, no, but still. It's probably for a gimmick, though, I was supposed to say at least. But to say at least, man, it is what it is. I don't see potential in Jazmyn Nyx as a singles wrestler at all. Even in the tag team, the stable of Fatal Influence, she's probably at least less potential woman at the faction with her, Fallon, and JC. But to say at least, wish her best in future endeavors, to say at least. Hope that she gets success post-WWE and independent scenes, to say at least. Means she signs the AEW Ring of Honor. Keep you up there, and that to say if that's the case, to say at least going forward. Moving on to Tony Khan says AEW this year has put on the most quality shows in company history. I thought it was purported to be fucking laughable. AEW President Tony Khan recently appeared on the Frank Walk show to promote AEW All Out pay-per-view that took place this Saturday afternoon. During the interview, Khan declared that the 2025 has been the company's best year to date. Like he always fucking says, man, it's fucking the complete opposite. He discussed a new partnership that will bring AEW pay-per-views to HBO Max and provide details on the upcoming event in Toronto. It's already took place. You know about that, obviously. Khan expressed his satisfaction with the state of All Elite Wrestling in 2025. Obviously, he's a freaking idiot. Citing consistency across on the company's television show programs and pay-per-view events as a key factor in its success. Which, I'll be honest, he's right about that. AEW puts on better pay-per-view events than WPLE's. I'll be honest that. I give him credit with that. Television show, they both suck to say at least. AEW is having our best year ever in 2025. Everything is awesome, said nobody ever. Khan said, I think the quality of shows this year, Frank, has been the best it's ever been. He always says, like I said, and the quality of our pay-per-views is the best it's ever been. I think, to me, the pay-per-views this year, every one of them has been excellent. Not this year, man. Not Forbidden Door, at least. That's for sure. Maybe even All Out. All Out has like flaws too, obviously. He specifically mentioned that the steady performances of AEW Dynamite on TBS on Wednesdays, and the addition of AEW Collision on TNT on Saturdays, sometimes on Thursdays too. This year, I think both shows week in and week out is the most consistent we've ever been. End quote. Oh, if I call bullshit there, Tony. Look at your viewership and ratings for both Dynamite and Collision. Especially your Dynamite, which your big show, the week AEW Dynamite on Wednesday nights. When was the last time how many times it was like before the 500,000 ranges beforehand? I can think of like 2 weeks ago, Tony. So stop saying it's the best year in AEW history. You're obviously lying to yourself. Stop with the fucking bullshit, because you're obviously wrong and not the problem. Look at your viewership. Look at your ratings, both Dynamite and Collision. It'll tell you otherwise than the statement you just said here, Tony Khan, obviously. Those are my thoughts on this, to say the least. Speaking of AEW, moving on to your AEW Dynamite September 24th, 2025 preview. Only 3 things advertised, including this one big-time thing I got to write about. Starting with the AEW Women's World Championship be on the line tonight as Mina Shirakawa will take on Chris Down, who just won his championship at All Out this past Saturday for said AEW Women's World Championship. Should be a fun match on paper, but still, I don't know why Chris Down right out of the gate is set to defend her championship. I get it, she's a babyface and she's a fighting champion, but I don't know why we need to see that for right away for Dynamite. Well, he could realistically build like a decent first feud with Mina against Chris Statlander. I think Mina's a champion in Ring of Honor, no one gives a shit about Ring of Honor, obviously. Unless your name is Athena, even though Athena should be dropping that title soon, hopefully, and give her back on AEW main roster television permanently, but still. I think this should be fun to say at least from a match standpoint, but I don't care, bro. I really don't care. She could have been nice to big first feud potentially for Statlander of the Women's Championship. But no one would believe in a world that Mia was going to beat Stat, but that's not the problem I have. Please build a decent story around these two. This could be actually a good first challenger for Statlander, but not right out of the gate. Whatever, bro. Whatever fits Tony Khan's playbook and his freaking Jacksonville Jaguars playbook, to say the least. Whatever, bro. Also advertised, so Mark Briscoe, a hologram, and a mystery partner. Who is that is, I don't fucking give a shit. And a 6-man tag, I don't give a flying fuck match. Briscoe, hologram, and mystery partner will take on Kazuchika Okada, the reigning defending AEW Unified Champion, Konosuke Takeshita. But both these members in a triple threat match with obviously Miss Cara Dorada, All Out, and Hechicera also being a 6-man tag. I don't give a flying fuck match. Lovely, Tony Khan. There's a thing I got to rant about. Tony Khan has an, and I quote, an important announcement. I just want to say, and I quote, that's all it is. I know already what it is. I can just already hear him saying the words right already in my head. AEW has introduced to you the AEW audience, the AEW sickos, the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championships will be a tournament concluded at, the next pay-per-view is probably Wrestle Dream, honestly. God, fucking lovely, bro. AEW does not need more fucking titles, especially Women's Tag Team Championships. If you're advocating asking for this, you ought to be out of your fucking mind. On what planet do we need AEW Women's Tag Team Championships? You can't even book your singles titles correctly. You want to book women's tag team titles? They'll be just like the WWE Women's Tag Team titles, not somehow worse. Whatever, bro. Tony Khan is not what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing with stuff like this. And that's just the sad truth. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Why? It's not confirmed, honestly. But it's more than likely that announcement. I'll be shocked if it isn't. Whatever, bro. Probably more likely getting AEW Women's Tag Team titles in All Elite Wrestling. God help us all, to say the least. That is your AEW Dynamite September 24, 2025 preview for tonight's show. And finally, everyone, for your Lucas E. On Productions podcast for your Wednesday, September 24, 2025. Always, this day in wrestling history. And starting in 1984, Greg Valentine defeated Tito Santana in London, Ontario, Canada. Seriously, it's a London, Canada, man? I did not fucking know that. To win the WWF Intercontinental Championship, that is 1984. You know, it's 1996. WWF presented In Your House number 3. Triple header from Sagua, Michigan. The main event was a winner-take-all match between Diesel and Shawn Michaels against the tag team champions of Owen Hart and Yokozuna. Due to Hart going missing, it was decided that the British Bulldog would take his place. However, Owen Hart made an appearance before the end of the match and ended up being the one pinned for Diesel and Michaels to become the ones to hold all the gold. So that was 1996. My one, your final part of saying Wrestling History 2000. You know, nothing like the 2010s, nothing like the 2020s at all. Your final part is 2000. WWF Unforgiven was live from the First Union Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Matt and Jeff Hardy defeated Edge and Christian in a steel cage match to win the tag team titles, with a slight assist from Lita. Elsewhere tonight, Eddie Guerrero defeated Rikishi by disqualification to keep possession of the Intercontinental Championship. And in return, Stone Cold Steve Austin gave a stunner to Steve Blackman, followed by 3 stunners to Shane McMahon. The main event was a Fatal 4 in which The Rock retained a WWF Championship against The Undertaker, Kane, and a man who would take the pinfall in the end, Chris Benoit. Always fuck Chris Benoit for obvious reasons, man. That is this day in wrestling history. And thank y'all for watching Lucas E. Allen Productions on YouTube and all audio platforms. Lucas E. Allen Show, which your Lucas E. Allen Productions podcast for September 24th of 2025. Hopefully, knock on wood for tonight, I can get your NFL Week 4 Power Rankings for 2025. My God, there'll be a lot of freaking changes with that shit. But probably the Packers and Ravens falling off the faces, but obviously the Packers lost against the fucking Browns somehow, some way. And the Ravens obviously lost Monday Night Football against the Detroit Lions. So give you those out probably hopefully tonight, like I said, if not tomorrow morning to say the least. Until next time, trust me, definitely next time, right? Peace, love, right? I am out. Take care. Love you all big time to say the least.